Hi there, Cancer. Thank you for joining me for your monthly forecast for May. A month which is dominated by retrogrades. Now, we all know about Mercury's retrograde, and as this month begins, it's starting the second of its annual 3. And for you, it's occurring in your sector of sociability, your future, and your friendships. There could be some times this month when these areas are actually going to come under a little bit of misunderstandings or confusions. But this area about how you interact with others and how you think about what you want from your hopes is actually strongly activated despite this retrograde. But it's not just Mercury. Jupiter starts the month still in a retrograde. Mars, Saturn and Pluto have also slammed on the brakes too. So what does this all mean? Well, I think Mercury hits us in a very direct way. So that can be like cross wires. You could think that you're going out with some friends and then find that you've got the date confused, or someone's not going to come along who said they would. Last minute changes of mind, this kind of stuff. But if we think about your bigger picture, the bigger picture in your horoscope this month is incredibly impressive. And it all comes from the tiny planet of Pluto, which may, to be honest, have caused some mischief for you in terms of your relationships over the last 7 years, because it's been urging you to think again about how you interact with others. If at the start of that process you tended to be a little more reserved, it may have been really positive and brought you out of yourself and made you more assertive in a really positive way. On the other hand, Pluto in this area does make us all more conscious of control. And if you've wanted to be very much in charge of relationships, then perhaps there have been challenges along the way. But this month, Mercury and Jupiter may start the month in retrograde, but they're feeding in to Pluto itself in retrograde in an awesomely impressive way. The Sun does too, along with Venus. So let's go right back to the start of the month and see where we are. The Sun, Mercury and Venus are all gathered in your sector of fun. If you can get together with people, even if there are a few cross wires along the way, you may surprise yourself by just how delightful it can be. Your contacts with others can also be very enriching. It's the links you have. It's a time to celebrate the things you have in common, not necessarily the things that keep you apart. On the 6th, there is a new moon. And this new moon forges that angle to Pluto, and this can stimulate change. So it's possible you're going to make some new friends this month, and friends that can become very influential to your future. It's also possible that the people that you make contact with will be professional links. But by networking, using social media, attending different clubs and social groups, you're going to be getting out and about, and people are going to be recognizing just how important and influential you can be too. But Jupiter fades out of that retrograde on the 9th, which is something we can all celebrate. And anything to do with transport or distribution or thinking or ideas or learning is going to improve for you. And there's a brilliant window of opportunity around all those areas through to early September this year. But I have to be honest, Jupiter is in opposition with Neptune this month for the whole of the month. Now, in a very positive way, this could see you thinking about the trip of a lifetime, and it may be to somewhere very exotic and different and peaceful, enchanting, uplifting, artistic, or if you want to stay closer to home, anything to do with the cinema, to do with film, to do with drama, to do with the theatre, anything to do with performance features. These can really stimulate your imagination hugely, as can learning a new language, learning to play an instrument. But anything more tangible can be eroded by Neptune's dreaminess. So factuality is going to be important this month for you. And with Saturn in the part of your horoscope to do with knowledge, the detail of things is not something that you can take your eye off, particularly with Mars also in a retrograde too, because you could get caught out. So there can be some very idealistic energies flowing around. You can connect with people brilliantly, but the nuts and bolts are always going to be in the background and are going to continue to be important. But then Venus connects with Pluto from the 11th to the 16th. It's possible that someone in your circle can actually hold a much greater affection for you than you've appreciated up until now. Or perhaps you're just going to celebrate the closeness between you and a particular group of people. It doesn't really have to be around one person. It's more about how you communicate closely. And some kind of unity, a very spiritually and uplifting unity, can be achieved across those days. Or it could be incredibly important for your love life. So if you are getting about and having fun, and for sure Mercury may see those last minute changes of plan, there can still be some wonderful stuff emerging for you. Not least that Mercury, Jupiter and Pluto forge a wonderful grand trine, an Earth trine, in the second half of this month. This can see you seeing the progress that you're making, seeing it tangibly, feeling very satisfied by that. But there is going to be a change of emphasis from the 21st when the Sun moves into Gemini, and there is straight away on that day a full moon. And if there are any issues about trust, sincerity, the people you can really rely upon, and if someone has let you down earlier in the month in terms of their reliability, a friendship for example, then maybe they are about to fade out of your life. And it's important with Venus moving into your 12th solar house on the 24th to try to be philosophical, that not everything is forever. But if that does happen, there are going to be other people who are going to be hugely important to you. And it's really appreciating that. It's not going to be a black and white scenario. There can be some come-ins, there can be some go-ins. But the come-ins can be very, very dynamic and richly uplifting for you. Mercury also goes forwards from the 21st. However, when Venus moves on the 24th, if there are doubts about a very close, ongoing romantic relationship, they may be revealed in the following 28 days. But Mars, still in a retrograde, goes into an opposition with Venus from the 21st to the 24th. Perhaps this is going to be the sticking point. This is going to be the point when something needs to be resolved one way or another. And then Mars twists back into your sister water sign of Scorpio on the 28th. Now, for the next couple of months, I actually think that retrograde can be really good for you because it's giving you a little bit more sex appeal. It's making you more determined to get your own way in terms of your personal identity. Whereas in the 6th solar house in Sagittarius, it's more about compromising your needs in order to keep other people happy and keeping the structure going of situations. So back into Scorpio, it's really pushing you as this month draws to a close, not to forget who you are, even if the swirling mist of energies does become much more psychological and you may find yourself retreating a little bit. It's also true that Jupiter is going to be clashing with Saturn all through this month as well. Jupiter's about growth, Saturn is about restriction. I do feel your nervous energy does need some care. If you can get those early nights or cat naps in the afternoon, if you can be aware of getting the stimulants out of your system, so the beverages with caffeine in, too much chocolate or other calorific goodies that are not so good for us and make us feel sluggish, to make sure that we do plenty of exercise and try to drink lots of water and get foods that are full of nutrients. If you can do all those things as this month draws to a close, I feel that your body will become a temple rather than the proverbial garden shed. But there is going to be a lot of fun this month. There are going to be those changes. I think about your future direction, the people who are important to you. It's going to be exciting and it's going to be challenging at times, but it will be transformational. Thank you for joining me. Good luck and goodbye for now.